everyone, Mitch coming in for the Command Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got a good one for you. The strongest new Commander cards that you need to see right now. Let's jump into them. So first up, the Soul Stone. Now, Spider-Man has not come out yet, but when it does, we'll see where this price lands. But yeah, $109, that is quite pricey. And yeah, I don't know if that's really going to go down. I don't know. Anyway, select your artifact Infinity Stone with Indestructible for 2 mana in black. It taps to add a black, and it has pay 6 in a black tap. Exile creature you control. Harness the Soul Stone. Once harnessed, its Infinity ability is active, and its Infinity ability is beginning of your upkeep. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is an early game mana rock that is, again, the same efficiency that we want from mana rocks, basically, for the most part, that aren't like Soul Ring crazy levels of broken efficiency that should probably be banned. This one is 2 mana, taps for 1. That's what we want. Now, that being said, it does only tap for black, meaning it can't help us fix our mana. So, yeah, you wouldn't just throw it into any deck and be like, yeah, it's the same as mana rock. No. It is a mana rock that, yeah, isn't as good at, being efficient unless you're, like, in, mono black deck when it comes to, not having to worry about actually filtering your mana. That being said, the payoff is massive. The payoff is huge. The payoff is gigantic. Yeah, you do need to lose out on a creature, but sure, that could be any tiny little creature you don't really care about. It does cost 7 mana to do so, but the payoff, again, is literally, hey, every single one of your upkeeps bring something back again and again and again and again. It's absolutely insane, absolutely crazy. Free reanimation for the rest of the game, again, on a 2 mana card. They get to pay some into, but again, early on it can help you with your mana, help you ramp, and then later on be just a game-changing card that, again, is indestructible, meaning that it is incredibly hard to deal with. Yeah, this is going to be a game-changing card. I'm not saying it's a game-changer, I'm just saying it's a game-changing card. Next up, yeah, they did the thing. Imposter Syndrome, enchantment for 6 mana in blue. Whenever a non-token creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. This is a card that can get out of control in absolutely no time. An absurd amount of time it can get out of control. 6 mana is a good amount to have to pay for something, right? That is a good amount to invest. When it comes to enchantments, you better be getting a lot of a 6 mana enchantment. And this one says, you know what, let's just change the entire game. Now when you get through with a non-token creature, you double it. Again, even if it's your commander, you double it because it isn't legendary. Here's the thing, obviously, extra combats can really help with this as well, getting even more. And of course, Double Strike can help with it too, keep that in mind as well. Of course, Populate can really help with that too, especially since it's making non-legendary token copies as well. So yeah, again, you could have like 14 of your commander running around. This is a card that, again, if it's not dealt with, it will get out of control, you will take over the game, and you will do some pretty obnoxiously crazy, amazing things. Check it out. Next up, speaking of checking it out, I guess I probably should mention this earlier. Check out that card list link in the description below. There we go. Anyways, Web of Life and Destiny. An enchantment for 8 mana in green. Convoke. At the beginning of combat on your turn, look at the top 5 cards of your library. But put a creature card among them on the battlefield. Put the rest of your library in random order. Yeah, this is a pretty crazy card. 8 mana is a good amount, yes. But again, number 1, you are in green, which is the color of ramp, and you are able to get a lot of mana out quite quickly. Obviously, you also have Convoke on this, so your creatures can actually help you get this out. So you might even be able to play it basically for free, which is pretty crazy. That being said, here's the thing. Yeah, you're cheating things into play, which is absolutely amazing. And a free creature card off the top of your library onto the battlefield, that's quite amazing. Now, is this for every single kind of deck out there? Absolutely not. It is one of those interesting balancing kind of, like a tightrope type card where you want it in a creature-based strategy, but you don't want to detract from the creature-based strategy too much by utilizing too many cards like this that are not creatures. Because you do need kind of that upper threshold of the number of creatures that you have in your deck, because you definitely don't want to whiff on something like this. You're revealing the top 5, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, well, didn't hit anything. If you only have like 20 creatures in your deck, that's like a 1 out of, 5 shot to hit one, you're kind of living on the edge there. If instead you're like, oh yeah, man, I got a creature-based strategy, I've got like 30, 40 creatures or so, you're pretty much, not guaranteed, but much more likely to hit a creature up the top. You want to make sure you're not whiffing like something like this, especially with the amount of investment that you're putting into it. So yes, make sure you have it in a creature-based strategy, one that has, some of these types of effects in there, obviously, some of these types of cards, essentially, where you can, okay, I'll reuse a couple non-creatures, but for the most part, it is very heavy creature, so I can hit most of the time. Moving on, Strength of Will, an instant for 2 mana in green. Until end of turn, target creature you control gains indestructible whenever this creature is dealt damage with that many counters on it. Yeah, this is a crazy good card. This is a card where, it is protecting your creature again. And typically when it comes to protect your entire team, you expect to pay 3, maybe 2 for crazy cards like Heroic Intervention. But when it comes to individual cards, you expect to pay 1 for an indestructible. All right, 1 mana indestructible, right? That being said, the payoff is definitely worth that extra mana. Again, it basically gives that creature vigor until end of turn, which is pretty crazy. So again, it can literally make this creature that your opponent thought they were taking out, or again, a Blasphemous Act happens, into the biggest creature on the board by far. It is a creature that, again, goes, all of a sudden, I go from, probably pretty beefy to the most beefiest thing in the world that you've ever seen. If you got a lore type effect, if you have everything's got to block this creature, or if an opponent just team blocks your creature to take it out or something like that, all of a sudden it is now the most large creature on the board by, a large margin. It is going to be a card that can really swing a game. It can save something when you need to, and again, like the Blasphemous Act, case, essentially, it's okay, cool. Yeah, I had a 6/6 before. Now I have a 19/19 because you tried to wipe the board. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Now I'm going to smack you with it. Goodbye. Let's keep things rolling with Behold the Sinister 6. It is a sorcery for 7 mana in black, and it says, return up to 6 target creature cards with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, this is a really, really big effect when it comes to bringing things back. When it comes to actually, cheating things into play, when it comes to getting things out of your graveyard, reanimating them, yeah, typically when it comes to getting one thing, it's 4 mana, right? You get 4 mana to get one thing back. Typically, yes, there are kind of other versions, big downside, specific types of creatures, that you can get or a really old card like Reanimate, yeah, which does have a downside, sure, but typically the going number is 4 to get one thing back. This says, add 3 mana and I'll give you 5 more creatures. This is a mass reanimate effect. Typically, again, you don't even have 6 total creatures in your graveyard for certain decks, but if you do have a graveyard type strategy, yeah, you'll be set up properly with this one, and this can, again, be a game-changing effect that you are just getting all the great things back and winning the game from there. Okay, I've got to point this one out because, yep, they did it. Yeah, we've got yet another. I'm not complaining about it, but it's just interesting. Yes, yet another. Well, we just got Escape Tunnel, I guess was the most recent one, but Terramorphic Expanse, Evolving Wilds, we've got another one. Vibrant Cityscape, a land that has tap, sacrifices land, search life for a basic land card, on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. I believe we actually had a digital-only version before this, but still, now that it's in print, legal in Commander, and we've got a card that, again, is going to see an insane amount of play. Literally, this is going to be, out of all the cards I've talked about in this episode, this one will see the most play. It just will, because it is a card that, again, basically just does the exact same thing as Volume Wild Terramorphic Expanse. It is going to help you fix your mana. It is an amazing land. It just takes up a land spot in your deck, so not really up a spot at all. Helps you fix your mana. It's great. Amazing. Lots of decks love it. And of course, landfall decks especially love this. Landfall decks have just been salivating at the mouth for years now, getting more and more and more great cheap fetch lands to utilize to get more landfall triggers. Yeah, not that they're running out of spots in their deck for them, but my goodness, it's going to see so much play. Pick it up once that price drops a bit. Next up, a different kind of land. We've got Oscorp Industries. This land enters tapped. When it enters from a graveyard, you lose 2 life. And it can tap for any of the Grixis colors, basically. And it's got Mayhem, basically meaning that you can actually play it on the turn that you discard it. So if you do discard it, you get to play it, which is crazy, out of the graveyard. And then you do lose the 2 life, but sure, that's okay, whatever, that's fine. It does enter tap, so it's a bit slower, obviously. But yeah, it's basically just like a tri-land, essentially, that does tap for any of those colors, and that you can, again, in the right deck, with any Grixis deck, you probably have these, though, with looting effects, with wheel effects, with, any kind of rummaging effects, either. Any ways to basically just discard this, you're basically kind of getting an extra draw out of it because you're not really losing out on the card. Yeah, you lose out on 2 life, but who cares? You're all right, sure, again, I'll play my spell, I discard 1 card to draw 2. Okay, I discard this card, I still use it, basically, and then I still get the 2. So I just, didn't even get the downside of that, essentially, at all. Of course, there are also things to benefit with certain cards as well, to like, oh yeah, when you play things out of the graveyard, you get this or that or this or that. Yeah, this is a great card, an amazing card. It's going to see a lot of play and have a lot of different impacts and a lot of different kinds of decks. Wait until you see this next one, though, because we've got Multiversal Passage, a land that says, as it enters, choose a basic land type, then you may pay 2 life. If you don't, enter as tapped. The land is the chosen type. This is a very interesting land where it's kind of a combination of other lands that we've seen in the past. It's kind of like Shockland-ish, but also, I mean, like a land that can adjust. A land that can be on the fly. A Shockland, again, is basically like, yeah, it's a dual land that does punish you a little bit. This one more so is a land that's like, okay, hey, all right, whatever you want. You can pick whatever basic land type you want. Any of them, okay? Any of them. Whatever land you need, this is that land. It can be slow if you don't need it right away, or it can be fast, but it's going to shock you. So it won't help you fix your mana later, unless you can like literally like bounce this, I guess, and like reset it. It's not going to help you fix your mana later, but it will essentially give you the right mana that you need right away. And also, you can use it right away if you need to. So again, it is one that is, I mean, a pretty effective land, again, and that can adjust, and also that can be used right away. We've seen other lands kind of like it in the past, but like this one is a bit quicker and very flexible as well. I think it's going to see a good amount of play. And finally, the Daily Bugle Building. This one is a land that can tap for a color, so you can filter, pay 1 tap, add 1 mana of any color. But also it's got pay 1 tap, target legendary creature gains menace until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. Now here's the thing. That's kind of funny that they put on a sorcery so you can't like do it for your opponent's creature. So they do take out like I don't know if that was really all that relevant that they needed to do that, but they took out the kind of social, political aspect of this card where you could be like, hey, you attack that other player over there who only has 1 blocker, I'll make your commander unblockable, basically. Yeah, so with this, again, it's only for your creatures, essentially. But yeah, being able to give any of your creatures menace that are legendary, that's huge, obviously, for legendary tribal. But again, at the very least, just like, hey, do you want like your commander to get through? Does your commander have like an attack trigger, a combat damage trigger? Is you're a Voltron commander? Is it one that you just like literally want to get through in combat to smack your opponents too? Yeah, I mean, this is a great way to say, hey, you know what? In certain scenarios, if an opponent only has 1 blocker, you normally wouldn't attack them potentially, depending on that situation. But it's like, oh no, now you can just get through. Cool, good for you. Or, again, in a situation where, all right, I've got, say, a creature that is legendary but has, like, Death Touch. All right, now you've got to block it with 2 creatures, so if you're going to block it, you got to lose out on 2 creatures. It is a card that can definitely really change certain scenarios, and again, it's just a land, not just taking up a spot in your deck. It is obviously just tapping for colors. It cannot be filter your mana if you need to. It's not definitely for every kind of deck, but if you do have a legendary creature that you really want to make sure you can help get through by giving some extra, again, evasion, yeah, it is a great thing to include in a deck. And of course, again, literally just like any kind of a colorless deck can consider it because it's just basically another land that is, again, not slow. Its utility can help you in that. And of course, Legendary Tribal will definitely consider it as well. It's a bit tougher in Legendary Tribal though, since that is like all 5 colors. And having a land tap for a colorless, or yeah, filter is nice, but again, it's slower with that too. It depends on Legendary Tribal deck, I guess. A 5-color Legendary Tribal, maybe not, but like 3-color, yeah, probably got to be considering something like this. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.